Hi, I'm Randy,
I'm Beth.
and we're here to just kind of make an announcement. We currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we've lived here for about how long?
6 years for me. I think like 8 or 9 for you.
So it's been a minute. We've been in this beautiful city. I mean, it really is a pretty cool place to live. I would have never, in my wildest dreams, thought that I would be living in fabulous, wonderful Las Vegas. But I think we've both kind of hit that point where we discussed it as a family, and we've agreed to take the next step and the next chapter of our life, and we're gonna chuck it all and move.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal because we're both self-employed. We run 2 businesses here. I'm a realtor. I've been selling and buying houses here in Las Vegas since 2015. Brandy's a contractor, and that's how we make our living. Real estate is 100% how we make our living. And, real estate is really a relationship business. So we've spent 5 years building up these really great businesses, and we've just made the decision to walk away. And we're in our 50s. We don't have, a huge nest egg. We've got a little bit of debt. We're like a lot of people. And it's a scary thing. But I think we both feel like, we're being led. We're believers, and just kind of feel like God is telling us it's time.
When we look at everything that's going on in the world, I think I started to realize that God had a plan for me, and so I listened. I listened, and the second I started listening to God and following kind of His guidance for my life, things got really good for us. So for this move, everything kind of at my core was telling me like this is a bad idea because we've already got an established business. We've got great clients. We got great people that we work with. I got great subcontractors that I couldn't ask for better people. But at the end of the day, I prayed and I told God, I said, if you really want us to move, I need to have a clear and basically no doubt sign that we're going. And I said, so if you want us to move, I want to see a Generation 1 Bronco driving on the streets in Las Vegas. Now, to put this in perspective, people are like, oh, that's crazy. Put it in perspective, in the entire time that I've lived in Las Vegas, I've never seen one. That would be one of these. So I've never seen one on the road. It was the first car that I owned. I've owned 6 of them, and I have a special place in my heart for them. So I told God, I said, look, I just got to see one. Like, if that's the signs that I'm getting, but I need some confirmation here. So it was probably about 3 weeks later, my wife and I were working on a project, and we had to go get some parts from Home Depot. So we went into Home Depot, and I'm driving out of the parking lot, and I told her, I said, baby, I got to turn around. She's like, well, why? We got work to do. And I'm like, no, you don't get that. This is more important. We need to turn around. So I turned around, I drove back in the parking lot, and sure enough, there was an early Bronco parked on a trailer.
That was a good sign, but an even better sign was like 2 weeks later, we're driving down the road to work and we're having the conversation about the Bronco that we just saw. And I'm like, so I guess that was our sign, huh? And Randy's going, yeah, I guess so. And as we're having this conversation, another Bronco drives down the freeway right next to us.
Right next to us.
We're like, oh, lived here for 7 years, never saw one. Now we've seen 2 in 2 weeks. So.
Right. And then a couple weeks after that, I saw a third one. I was by myself, but I saw a third one. So it's pretty clear cut to me. And it may not be to you. You may be not so inclined to believe that. But for us, that's what was important. So so we're chucking it all and we're moving. my wife, she's a researcher. I mean, we've both been in college, but she's the brainiac of the family. So she started researching tons and tons of stuff on areas where we might be interested in moving, and more importantly, looking for stuff on YouTube for people that are a lot like us, that are over the 50 and have basically chucked it all and starting over from scratch.
And there were a lot of things that kind of, led up to our desire to move. Like, we both really loved Las Vegas, but Las Vegas has changed a lot. Since I got here in 2014, we've had 250,000 new people come in. The city has changed a lot. And it's a really challenging place to do business. Like, they're not real pro business without forcing you to spend a whole lot of money to do business here. It's one of the most expensive places to be a realtor, and it's one of the most expensive places to be a contractor. Like, it's just outrageously expensive. And we started talking about, where could we go where it's easier to do business, where our money goes further, the cost of living is lower. And to be honest, whenever we met, he was in Oregon. I left Wisconsin to be with him in Oregon. I fell in love with Oregon. I thought for sure that's where we would end up going back. But Oregon's changed a lot, and it's not a good fit for conservative Christians anymore. That's just the fact of the matter. And I'm sure he wants to speak on that.
No, it's true. I'm a pretty opinionated fella, if you will, and I don't have a lot of tolerance for people that kind of infringe on my way of life.
He's an angry ginger.
I'm an angry ginger. Go figure. So I want to live someplace where I can live my life and not have a bunch of governmental interference with that, and a lot of regulations and a lot of things preventing you to be successful. And just to give you an example of how difficult it is here to make it, it costs anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 just to get your contractor's license. It's pay to play. It really is. But if you're visiting, it's a great place. My brother, he still lives in Oregon, and he can't get down here enough. I mean, he tries to get down here once every 6 months or so, and he loves it. And I think,
and he's in his 30s and single.
Of course. So if he didn't have responsibilities in Oregon, I'm absolutely convinced that he would be living here. He just loves it to death, and I can't say enough about the Vegas. Like, when we first moved here, Vegas, the whole city is dedicated to customer service. So you would come here and people would bend over backwards taking care of you. And that has changed with the influx of people that we've gotten in. That's changed. It's become less of a small town feel. Like, in spite of it being a big city, it truly did feel like
a small town.
And
that's gone.
Changed. It's gone.
Yeah. So, anyway, we started researching where we would go. And we do have some other considerations. I have some health issues. I've got some pretty bad arthritis in my spine, which is really set off by cold weather. I just can't do cold, like, northern Idaho or Montana or Wisconsin. I can't physically do that kind of stuff. So we were looking for places with a fairly mild climate, where land was cheap, where all the other things I said, good for people with special needs, all that. And we ended up focusing on...
somewhere down in the Ozarks. We're not sure yet. We're not there. So we're making this video as we live here in Las Vegas. We're in the middle of COVID-19, and we're packing. We're packing in the anticipation that as soon as this lets up, we're gone. Now, her parents live down in Arkansas, and I've got family on my mother's side that still lives in Arkansas.
And I actually grew up in the Ozarks,
So we're going to head down there, and we're going to take a few weeks to look around. I think we're leaning more and more toward southern Missouri, just because the taxes are better, and the services that they have for special needs kids are amazing. So I think that's I think that's kind of the smart play for our family.
Yeah. And they seem to value the Constitution and liberty a little bit more on the Missouri side.
They have some of the best. If you're a gun owner, they have some of the best Second Amendment protections that of any state. They're not the best, but they are very, very good. So I think that's where we're going. I think what we're going to do is when we get down there, we're going to ask for divine intervention. You know, we're gonna ask God to just present us with the perfect place in the perfect spot of where we're supposed to be. Like if we're gonna trust in God as we should for our family, then I should trust Him to provide the exact location of where and how we should be.
So why are we doing this? What we're realizing is there are a lot of people in our age group who are feeling very similar to how we're feeling. Like a lot of folks who, got the corporate jobs and chased the money and all that kind of stuff. And they're, hitting 50 now and realizing this isn't really working out the way I thought it was gonna. And I'm kind of running out of time.
Yeah. Talking with our friends, there's a lot of dissatisfaction with their lives, just in general. And I think if you're in our age bracket or our generation, and you talk to your friends and you have an honest conversation with them, I think you're going to find that they're kind of in the same spot too. They may be successful, but success doesn't equal joy.
That's right.
You could be a multimillionaire, and if you don't love what you do on a daily basis, it's not going to matter. It just doesn't matter.
That's right.
So, and that's been our experience. We found a lot of people that are just missing a lot of joy in their life, and we're not getting younger.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the bottom line is every year that goes by, you're a year older. You can't get away from that. That's just basic math. So,
and we both grew up kind of out in the country. We're both not, we both enjoy the city, but we both, for a long time, have talked about getting out to the country, getting our own homestead set up. And we just thought maybe some folks might like to come along on this journey with us, because it is definitely going to be a journey. And we don't know where it's going to take us, where the Lord's going to lead us, what's going to unfold. But it's probably going to have some interesting moments along the way.
I'm scared. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And like the YouTube videos that we watch, right? They all start after arrival for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, look, we chucked it all and moved to the city. So we wanted to document the early phases of it.
That's
we wanted to document kind of the decision-making process that we had for our family. Ours was faith-based. Yours may just be not, and that's okay. But I would just encourage you that if you're unhappy and you're missing a lot of joy in your life, that you're not getting younger, and you might want to consider a change. So, and what's right for us is not necessarily right for you. We're not saying everybody should do this, and we're not saying that you should come and move down to the Ozarks, especially if you're not conservative Republican. So.
But we are saying that if you are at all unhappy with your life, you need to take some time and review that and figure out how to get happy, because life really is short, and being closer to the end than the beginning can tell you that time goes really fast. We hope you follow us on this journey, and we'll try and keep you entertained, and we plan on being really brutally honest about it along the way. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.